Hello, welcome to another tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy. And the painting I'm bringing you today is, it's called Riffing on Camile Corot. I do know the title of the painting that I am riffing on. It's called The Crayfisher. Don't know when he did it. Why do you say riffing? Because it looks very Corot-like. Well, the main reason is because I changed up the sky that he had. I didn't change much else. I changed up the sky. And I don't feel like I need to cleave to doing an exact study of Corot these days. I feel like, I don't know, I just didn't like the sky in this. But I did like the tree shape, and so I hope you enjoy watching me do that. Now, this is a board that I prepped with the texture. And if you just put the word texture into the channel search on my channel, you'll find the video with the texturizing. You'll find the texturizing video. And what I do is I texturize with black gesso, black acrylic gesso, and then I go over it with oil paint. So this particular color you see me painting on was just leftover paint from the end of the day. One day, quite a lot of it, and it's just sort of a brown. In this case, a little bit of a greeny brown. So I'm doing the underpainting here with brown ochre and a little bit of black in it. I didn't feel like the reddishness of the usual burn umber would have been appropriate for what I was going for. And in this case, if you check out his original, which if you're in the members area, you already saw it, both his original and then my reference that was jiggered a little differently. You can see that I didn't change the basic tones that he used in his tree by very much. Everything is very kind of sepia, and you know, I'm not here to criticize Corot. He's an amazing painter. But his color doesn't usually blow me away. It doesn't move around very much, and so this is one of the reasons I thought I want to get into some orange or something warm grays and like that, and that's what I did. So but using this this brown ochre tone, it kind of already set the stage for a Corot-like tone, and I basically went over this with some greens and black and some ochres, and then we have the end result, which you probably would have seen in the thumbnail. Yeah. So why did I do this painting? Well, I was looking to do a 5x7. This week has been kind of scattered and not that productive, except I did produce quite a few small paintings. And what I'd point out to you is that I knew I didn't have a lot of time, but I also know, like, if you see this video in the members area, it's like I think it's an hour and a half, something like that. That includes the color mixing session and the session prior to the painting actually being done, where I'm going over the reference and talking about what I do and don't like and what I may and may not do. It's kind of like a little prelim, and that's just something I do for members. Yeah. So, but for your part, you get to see the entire painting getting done. It's just sped up, in this case about 5 times. And but I had that hour, and I didn't have the time to do anything really larger. So I thought, well, 5x7. That was my thinking. No, I was actually thinking, what do I have? I got a folder full of Camile Corot images. Maybe I'd just swap out the sky in this one. Took me a few moments to do that, and then I was off to the races. And I had a nice little painting. Now, I've done a lot of studies after Corot, so I have a certain approach. I call it my strokey approach. You can see that I've already used that in the drawing. It's almost like a kind of Van Gogh-y type of brush stroke. Now, and I could play that up on any painting I did, really. It's not something I do a lot of. Sometimes I do it. Yeah, I mean, it works real well for some applications. It works well for Corot because if you've seen original Corot, which I have at the Louvre in Paris, You see he has these little strokes, and that's how he gets those beautiful edges of his. Yeah. And he doesn't play it up much. It's very subtle, and of course his work is larger. I'm playing it up a bit, and but you'll see this. It goes through a few stages. Hopefully you'll enjoy watching me do it. I really enjoyed doing this painting too. It went, pretty quick. I decided to throw in the little figure because it's a crayfisher. So I'll probably just call this video riffing on. Well, that's gonna be too long. I'm just gonna call it riffing on Corot. Anyway, pretty soon we're going to have a little ad coming up from my book, so please, just get through that with me. And a lot of you have been purchasing it, and I really appreciate that. And it's got a lot of great tips, tricks, and advice, all in one spot. Yeah. Anyway, so you can see with the sky, I'm doing this gray-orange thing. I decided to play up that orange in the center a bit more than I had it. And again, I had a limited amount of time, and I thought, perfect, I'll just do a little painting, and this is the way you get better. This is how you get better. There's really no other way to get better. Probably have 700-800 videos in this channel. YouTube doesn't give me an easy way to count that, but it's a lot because I've been doing it every week since 2015, so we're going on 7 years now. And you can watch all those, and you have some good ideas, but at the end of the day, you still got to make your own paintings. All right, we got the ad for the book coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you for your support. Thanks for getting through this ad. Appreciate it. Check out this book, because okay, there's a little background. This was my answer to the lockdown, because when they locked down the country here, that was the end of the tourist trade, which was where I sold a lot of my paintings out of my studio, and it still really hasn't come back. So I thought, well, I'll take some of that time, I'll take a chunk of that time and start putting a lot of the stuff that I've been trying to teach and impart on my channel for the last 7 years all in one place for people. And I'm very proud of it, and I hope you check it out. 60 bones, a lot of that's just going for the international shipping. Unfortunately, that's our post-COVID world. The shipping used to be easily half of what it is now. It's just gone up, and I live in an island, way down on the bottom, over not that far from Antarctica. Although it's not cold here, but look up New Zealand on a globe sometime. You'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway. What I like to do after I always put the sky in first. I highly recommend you do that too. It's just a good practice. Why? Because the sky is going to be behind all your other shapes, so it's going to be easier for you to get those nice edges. Also, you notice that for soft edges, here's a great tip for you guys that got past the ad for the book. One of the hardest things to do in painting is to take an edge that is already hard and soften it. So if you want a soft edge, there's a lot of different approaches. I mean, I always say in my live sessions that I have 11 million strategies. The strategy here was a bunch of open little jitty brush strokes. Not as small and jitty as Corot's, but Corot is tending to work like 1620, 1824. I don't know if any of his works were huge. And please don't think because I decided to change this one aspect of his painting that I have ultimate respect for Corot. He lived forever, practically into his 80s, and was painting the whole time. He really is one of the fathers of tonalism, no question about it. And I'm barely doing justice to his painting with this study. I am real proud, though, of my edges, and that's one of the reasons I like to do Corot studies, is because that's your master class on edges. So in this case, little jitty strokes. I'm really totally being supported by that brown color, which is one of the reasons I selected this board out of my pile of prepped boards. I actually been keeping notes on supporting yourself as an artist. I talked about that in the last video, and I think I'll remember to bring those notes home and do a whole video. This is going to be a middle of the weekish video, so I'll be doing another video this weekend of maybe this other Corot I riffed on. There I went much further with the whole color thing. I went nuts. Yeah, you'll see. You'll see. Hopefully you'll see. Hopefully you're getting some out of this channel. As far as yourself, okay, what did I use for my references? I have a little laptop. It's not that fancy. It's actually quite old. I load up my reference on that laptop, and I have a bigger monitor plugged into it. And that I used to use a digital frame back when those were popular. They're not as. I had a little Sony digital frame, and prior to that I was printing out my reference, which is not cheap really, you know. Also you get brighter cleaner color from a monitor than you do from a print usually, and whatever you can do to help aid your painting process is good. So I recommend that. A lot of people, you maybe have an iPad or something like that. Those have really nice looking displays. You can maybe set that up on a little like a plate easel or something and use that as your reference. But you know, pick up a Corot and a board and make your own little study, you know. Try and get some of that Corot goodness into your work. I've done, I don't even know how many, 30, 40 Corot studies. Maybe it's 20. I'm not keeping track. It's more than 20. I'd say it's more than 20. I think there's a playlist which isn't even up to date. When I made that playlist was like several years ago, and I've done, I usually do 2, 3, 4 Corot studies a year, because I want that in my work, you know. He was so influential, and he's the edge master, he's the atmosphere master, he's not the color master, you know. Basically someone like Ines will just take him to the cleaners on the color, but you know, just to throw some shade on good old George Ines as well, you know, he wasn't consistent as Corot. Like Corot, if you look at, I think there's a site that has complete Corot, I think it's called .com or something, and I don't know how many paintings are there, thousands. You see there's this remarkable consistency. Actually his early work is really cool. His later work is really cool too, where he gets a little more abstracty, a little more atmospheric. But when he was kind of working in that real solid traditional vein, doing quite specific scenes, you know, like this scene that he did, or you've seen it through the filter of me, of course. I'm guessing it's the Fontainebleau forest, because you got those big rocks. That's a dead giveaway, and that definitely seems like a Fontainebleau type of tree. And the Fontainebleau forest is about 60 miles, I think, northwest of Paris. It's beautiful. I was there for a few days. I wish I could have stayed for, you know, several months. Just made paintings and absorbed the environment of the place a lot more than I was able to. But I was really lucky that I got to go there and got a taste of it, you know. And and because I've seen that real place in the real world, I can relate to what Corot's doing. And I don't think that's the only place he painted. I think he painted, you know, definitely when he was younger he traveled to Italy and Spain, and but he was working all the time. He's an absolute master. He's one of the greats. And hopefully you enjoyed my take. I think it looks quite Corot-like. I've never seen him really do a sunset or anything like this color-wise, but I did. And it looks nice. I think it looks nice. And I'm going to pop it in my store, as a matter of fact, so I'm going to put a really good price on it too. So why don't you go ahead and snap it up. Yeah, shipping's included, international shipping. So if you knew what that was, you know, whoa, I can't believe he's selling it for that. But I want to get it into people's hands. I like to it completes the circuit. And you're probably a painter too, so you know what I mean. You want to get the work out there, hanging in people's homes, hanging on people's walls, and hopefully make enough to pay for your art supplies. And thank you for those who've been supporting me lately through the purchase of the book, membership on the channel, just straight up donations. You could do that on my website or click that little thank you knob below, or you can just leave me a comment if you don't have any dosh or whatever, or you just have a care. Anyway, till I come back with another video for your edification and enjoyment, do me a favor, do me a solid, take good care of yourself, your family, all your loved ones, and stay out of trouble. God bless you and your family.